What the hell was this guy saying, bro? Keith Frank being your boy, bud.
I'm
Just
just
saying.
My nose look like Ric Flair's nose.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance.
Don't look at the camera. What? What? I'm getting flustered.
You're gonna get one of these, bud. I'm Jess,
And I'm Wes.
and we are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance, and you are watching the NWCA Podcast, the only wrestling history podcast out there that doesn't just talk wrestling history, we show history. Wes, big show last week, big celebration show. Just want to thank everybody who took a time out of their life to give us a chance and celebrate our 1 year being a podcast.
What can we say that we didn't say last week? Incredible.
Yeah, right?
Incredible. We're just marching on. That's all. We're marching on.
Yeah, and we're back, and we're going to continue going where places that we haven't done, and we're going to keep up with the theme. And today we got a big show. We are in Montreal today. Montreal, Quebec, Canada.
Home of your favorite hockey team and my least favorite hockey team.
I hate the Canadians, buddy. You know me. I'm Alexander Ovechkin all day. The greatest goal scorer of all time. And no one can even argue that because he's going to pass Gretzky by like 100 goals.
I
You can't do it, eh?
lots of relatives in Quebec, not in Montreal, thank goodness, but in the suburbs and outside of Quebec. I've been many times. I love going to Quebec. It's a beautiful province, but to be in Montreal in September 1972, oh, what a joy it must have been.
Yeah, considering today we continue the history tour and we're staying in the 70s, and it's wild. Like, when we do the card rundown, people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's why they're speechless." But hey, what can we do? We're talking a lot of people's favorite Jean Ferret at this point in time in history.
This guy right here.
That guy right there behind you.
Yep.
This guy right here in front of me.
We.
I got that picture off Cliff, actually.
Jean Ferret.
Bro, so good. Today's show, September 1972, Montreal, Quebec, Canada, Grand Prix Wrestling.
Yep.
Just to clarify, Wes, Grand Prix Wrestling, the rich history there, eh?
Just incredible. And the best part about it was that Paul Vachon, who was one of the owners, incorporated a new outlook on professional wrestling promotion, and he got his television show right across Canada. Yes, I never saw a Grand Prix card live, but man, I was stuck to the TV on Saturday afternoons on Channel 79, City TV, everywhere for watching Grand Prix wrestling. It was incredible. The talent that went through there, the names that we got to see on TV that we knew we'd never, ever see in Toronto on TV or live. It was just blew my mind seeing some of the guys. I love the ring announcer, Fernand St. Marie. What a talent. And it was so cool. He was just the coolest ring announcer.
Didn't Grand Prix come to Ontario?
They came to Ontario, but they never came anywhere near Toronto. Yeah.
So, well, they came to like Ottawa.
Sudbury, North Bay, up northern Ontario, where there's more French-speaking people. Yeah. And it was a great promotion. And unfortunately, they were going up against the Rougeaus, and it was a battle. And the people of Quebec lost the battle because both promotions burnt out trying to get the money off of the fans.
Whatever, bro. Just say it. Vince came in and he bought everybody out.
And then, then that's exactly what happened.
Exactly, right? Today's main event is Andre the Giant. Let's just say it for modern fans versus Leo Johnathan, one of our boys that we love to talk about. We have talked about many times before. But before we dive into it, Wes, let's set the scene. Set the scene. 1972. Who do you think in September, by the way, everybody?
Yep.
NWA champion, Dory Funk Jr.
Yep. Riding high. I think he probably lost in May, I think.
Shortly after, because wasn't
Harley Race, yeah.
Yeah. Harley Race held it for after him, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. And then I want to say Terry Funk, but I'm not too sure. I always get confused.
Jack Briscoe.
Yeah. Yeah, see. I'll get there one day when I know the list. AWA champion, Vern Gagne.
Monsieur Lagana, yeah.
Yeah. And the WWF champion in September of 1972, Pedro Morales, who we just talked about 2 weeks ago on a Hawaii episode.
On our Hawaii episode, yeah. See, Pedro held the belt at the WWF for quite some time, I think 2.5 years, something like that. Dethroned by our Canadian guy, Stan Stasiak, of course.
Of course, that's our boy. We love Stan Stasiak.
And Vern comes into play actually with this card because when the Vachons left the AWA, they were tag team champions.
Really?
They left the AWA to start up Grand Prix. So when Grand Prix first started, Vern Gagne was bringing a whole bunch of guys to Montreal to battle the Rougeaus. So Gagne was on some of the cards. George Gordienko, who was one of Andy the Taxman's favorite guys, he was on the cards. Baron Fritz von Raschke, who was coming from the AWA and started in Montreal, basically. He was coming back. A lot of the guys from the AWA were coming in to...
I know Rick Martel did AWA, too.
That was a lot longer.
Later, obviously. Yeah. But another French-Canadian guy who went up there. What I'm curious about is who's, at this point in time, 72, is Mad Dog controlling the booking with Andre over here, or is it Carpentier doing it?
I think Carpentier was doing some of the booking, but I think it was mostly Paul Vachon. Paul Vachon was the brains behind everything. He had to be a bit of a silent partner in Montreal. You couldn't be the promoter and wrestler in Montreal, in actual Montreal. In Quebec City or the rest of the province, it didn't matter. But in Montreal, because they had a different commission, so he could never wrestle on his own cards. So he's probably the booker for sure, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was the rule. Isn't that why the Sheik, when he ran Detroit, he had like a different name or something like that? Or he put in his father's name or something?
Yeah.
You know the story I'm talking about?
Yeah, his father-in-law, Francis Flesher.
Yes.
Good one, Jesse. You're grasping that history, man. That's awesome.
What? That's a real story, though, isn't it? He had.
Yeah, because no one wanted to see Eddie Farhat being the promoter because someone's going to put a 2 and 2 together, right?
Oh, buddy, he's 5'11". What do you expect?
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't 5'11". He's like this much taller than me. I'm 5'9" and a bit. Sweet Jesus, he was 7 foot tall. He was so big. Yeah, when he was standing in the ring.
Well, you know what though, bro? Like that just goes to show you the mystique the Sheik still has to this day.
For sure.
All right, before we jump into since we just set the scene, told you about the champions, before we jump into the card, we just want to remind everybody.
The card there?
Yeah, that's the card there. I have the same paper. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Mine's better than yours.
Like, ever do that trick? Oh, look at you with the NWCA mug. Okay. Look at this guy. This guy's hiding all this merch on me and Johnny Boy over here. Just before we continue, we want to remind everybody that we are sponsored by Grand River Tea. Save 15% on your final purchase by using the code NWCA at checkout. Go to their website, check their wide variety of loose leaf teas, and add them all to your cart. Stay healthy by saving money by using the code NWCA at checkout. 15%, guys. Yep. So yeah, and again, thanks to Grand River Tea for being a sponsor since day one, buddy. Big ups.
Yep. Many episodes and many more to come.
That's right, brother. Okay, let's get into this. So like we said today, the main topic is this guy right here. I've showed this picture at the front. Got a lot of Andre stuff coming in the credits, so if you missed anything, don't worry. We're talking this card here.
And who?
It is absolutely stacked.
Who's he wrestling against? This guy?
Don Leo, boom. Boom, boom. Don Leo Johnathan.
So someone on one of our Facebook groups said they were going to hook us up with his daughter.
With his daughter? Don Leo Jonathan's daughter.
Hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping.
Hey, let's go. We'll talk to anybody.
You're talking to me. Sure proves the point.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, what am I doing here? All right. Unfortunately, we don't have the results for these cards. We have suspicion of who won the main event. Thanks to Vance Nevada's book and records and stuff for him helping us out with this. However, we're not 100% sure, so we don't want to commit because we don't want to give out false information.
And the wrestle data doesn't even show this card, so that's what. And I don't get everything from there, and I don't take it as the 100% gospel because it's not. So we're going to run down the card and say, oh, look at that, blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
Should we do wah.
We'll still talk about everybody, who they are, and everything. And like we said, lots to come in the credits.
Lots to come in the credits. As in, we've got. Sorry, go ahead. I'll cut you off.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say we got pictures and everything coming at the end, and of like different guys on the card. So just watch until the end and see it all. If you miss anything, don't worry about it.
If you're watching right now and you want to hear something really interesting, we've got never seen before pictures of this match. Never seen before pictures from the collection of Chris Owens, who's the #1 Andre the Giant fan in the world. He graciously has given us a whole pile of pictures to use, taken right from the lens of famous Montreal photographer Tony Lanza. So that's going to be awesome to see at the end.
Yes, I haven't even seen them yet. I said, wait, I want to see them at the end. Also, one big thing about this card, it's full of Canadians.
Oh yeah. Oh, there isn't too many guys that aren't Canadian here.
So, anyways, okay, Wes, let's get into it, buddy. Len Shelley versus Pat Lawrence.
Yep. Len Shelley was a Quebec guy.
Okay.
Worked a lot out on the West Coast in Seattle, Portland area, and a bit of California, BC also. Bald-headed guy. We got a picture of him coming up after the credits. And Pat Lawrence. I don't want to prejudice myself by saying who I think it is. So I'm not 1,000% sure. I don't. It's just Pat Lawrence.
Pat Lawrence.
I think he was someone else, but I'm not 100%.
Just a guy.
Yep.
Reggie, Mr. Universe.
Regular guy from Montreal.
Yeah, exactly. Reggie, Mr. Universe Parks versus Frank Valos.
Okay. So, Mr. Reggie Parks, famous for many things. Man with a cast iron stomach is one of his gimmicks. Had beautiful abs, just absolutely gorgeous. Alberta. Famous belt maker. Famous throughout the 70s and 80s. And really? Frank Valois, of course, was Andre's early manager.
Yes, I thought I recognized the name. I was like, I'm pretty sure, but I always hesitate because, people like to test me for some reason because I'm young. So
nobody ever texts me. They always text you and say,
I know, you see that? Like always, it's always me. Oh, Roddy Piper was over here this time. Yeah, well, guess what, bud? Check your freaking calendar. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That you think he's on the card, obviously, because Andre's on the card.
Yeah, and he used to come to Ontario when Andre was on the Wildman's cards. He always was either fit into the card somewhere until, of course, Andre switched over to Vince Sr. as his booking agent.
Yeah, and then I think Carpentier started driving him a bit too.
Wow. Yeah. Carpentier.
Yeah, Carpenter.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo and Jackie Wentz versus Ino.
Yeah. Inui.
Yeah. Go ahead, chirp. Let's go. Comment below.
So I couldn't find anything on the Mighty Inui at all. There was too
Well,
many.
we all know who Dino Bravo is.
There's
Like,
too many Japanese guys with that surname,
oh
and
yeah.
I'm not sure who the destroyer was at this time. It might have been one of the Del Serra brothers. Jackie Waits, there's many ways to spell his name. It was actually Edward Carpentier's nephew.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I always thought it was his son because they look exactly the same body build and everything. He just died, I think, like last year or the year before.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And of course, Dino Bravo, one of my favorites. And he was young then. Like when Dino Bravo was in Grand Prix, Dino Bravo was one of the guys that went back and forth between All Star, which was the Rougeos, and Grand Prix. Only one of them, because a lot of the guys went back and forth. He was doing drop kicks and flying head scissors at this time because he was young and very light. Still had a good build, but he was really light, probably 230 instead of 65.
I'm reading that Bulldog book by Stephen Bell, I think. The Dynamite and Bulldog. And I'm surprised that I don't see Dynamite over in Montreal in like the late 70s.
He wasn't here yet.
Yeah, he was.
No, I mean, they never went to Montreal.
No, he's like, he was wrestling like Jake Roberts and stuff in Saskatchewan, but like, it's crazy how Stampede guys never worked with, you know what I mean?
Stampede guys never came to Quebec.
It's weird because you think that they would want to work and get like exposure out here too.
The guys, they couldn't spread them too thin. It's too far of a drive. They would have had to pay for air. And the Stampede never aired in Quebec, as far as I know. The two French TV shows took up everything.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo, one of the best Dark Side episodes. I love that episode. Special match, Paul LeDuc and Jose LeDuc.
Oh, God.
What, did I butcher that too?
Joe. Yeah, just Joe LeDuc.
Why is there an S?
Because they're French, man. Okay, don't even try the next two.
No, you do it.
Maxime Zeronoff-Leboeuf and Gilles Poisson.
There you go. Booty traps.
Four French guys. Gilles Poisson was nicknamed the Fish because Poisson means fish in French.
Okay.
Maxime
Fuck means seal in French.
Maxime Zeronoff-Leboeuf was he played a Russian Stomper in the WWA, a couple other places. I think he was a bit of a dick in the ring, and I think he got punished once and kind of quit.
Really?
So someone punished him.
Yeah, well,
Paul and Joe LeDuc, absolute favorites back in the day. They were heels and they were faces, then they were heels, they were faces. They jumped back and forth in between All-Star and Grand Prix. I love Joe LeDuc. I thought he was great. Back then he was big, rough, strongman guy.
Yeah.
Still he was still a good bleeder, but I mean nothing like the Memphis stuff that he became more famous for.
Memphis.
I think his real name was Michel Pigeon.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Memphis, we did a Memphis episode not too long ago with Parade of Champions. Just check the channel, and you can check the Canadian boy Rocky Johnson.
Yep.
Versus Harley Race.
Jerry Lawler. Harley Race. Sorry.
It's Harley Race. Jerry Lawler was on the card though. I'm pretty sure he fought Jack Briscoe that show.
That's right.
That was a sick card too.
Fan requested card. That was a great card. Who wouldn't want to see that card?
Actually, you know what? Speaking of which, this is actually a fan requested episode too. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, it is. Our boy Adam, me and Ricochet, our boy from the wrestling events. He's like, "Do Montreal, bro. You haven't done Montreal." And I'm like, "Shit, no, we haven't." So here we are, Grand Prix.
Yep.
Next match. War Eagle and Billy Two Rivers versus Blackjack Mulligan and Baron Fritz von Raschke.
Good one.
Buddy, this match would be sick. So far, out of all the matches on the card, this is the one I want to see.
Oh, who wouldn't want to see Mulligan and Raschke? like as a team.
Like, boy, serious? Like, that'd be sick.
But I'll give them credit. Yes, they were big, they were tough, they were strong, they were good heels. These two guys teamed up on TV just about every show. War Eagle and Billy Two Rivers, they were fantastic. They were a really good Indian team. War Eagle, I don't really think he was indigenous. Billy Two Rivers was. He was from Caughnawaga and turned out to be really, really famous. Again, another guy Andy Taxman's done some work on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got news on Andy coming in a couple weeks. So
Yes. Awesome. We don't have to say anything about Mulligan and Ron Rashka other than, yes, those guys were down from the AWA. Mulligan, actually, you know what? I think I have a card on my phone, and I'm going to be doing ad Battle for Quebec on the National Wrestling Clippings Alliance Facebook page.
yeah, you're saying something like that to me.
It's going to be showing all the ads for about a year, them fighting each other. And I'm pretty sure Mulligan faced Andre in Grand Prix.
Beauty.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be down for any Andre, bro, because I love Andre. I never got to see him. I only lived through YouTube and the network and streaming and all that. So just like the Sheik, I can't really say I'm a Sheik fan. Never really saw him. That's why I only lived through the stories and the mystique of everything that still lives on about him.
So Andre at this time, we'll get to Andre after, but yeah, he was on. He wasn't on TV all the time, but he was on quite a bit, and it was unbelievable.
You would think Frank would work with like Paul Vachon or something, like, you know what I mean? Being so close.
Maurice Vachon, Mad Dog, was on some Dave cards. Not very many, but a couple.
Not Dave. Well, Dave, yeah. But what about Frank Tunney?
They worked here all the time.
Yeah, right? I was going to say.
Yeah, they came because Quebec didn't run on Sundays.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Because it's a really religious province, right? So
yeah.
Nothing's going on Sundays. All the Quebec boys would come down in the winter, especially to work Frank Tunney's Maple Leaf Garden shows.
Money. Baron Von Buddy the Claw, man. Get a cameo from him. It only costs like $60. Semifinal: Rico Garcia versus Maurice Mad Dog Vachon. Bro, I would love to see Mad Dog.
Have you seen the video of him blading in AWA where Crusher kicks him while he's blading and he hits an artery?
No. I have to look that up.
He's standing there and he's going like this.
Yeah.
After he's bladed, right? And he finally puts his hand up, and it's just like running, gushing, and he just keeps carrying on. They keep fighting, and like the ring announcer is screaming, "Oh my God! Someone get a hand! Someone put some pressure on that! He's hit an artery!" And like, holy shit! It's like there's puddles on the floor. There's puddles in the ring. Jesus! I mean, it's a great video. I love it. I've seen it like 20 times.
Right? I gotta look into that, man.
Rico Garcia?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't find anything. Nothing. Zip.
Really?
Except a picture. I got a picture of him to put at the end.
Bingo.
Yeah. What can we say about Mad Dog Vachon?
Would you put him? Where would you put him in all of Quebec wrestlers? Do you think, in popularity wise? Number 2? Who's number 1 for you?
Yvon Robert. Well, not for me.
No, but like in history wise, what do you think?
For me?
Yvon Robert, obviously.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah, and then Mad Dog. Yeah.
Good shit.
Strictly speaking, French Quebec-born guys. Yeah.
Yeah. That's. I
mean,
mean,
I don't know, 5 times AWA World Heavyweight Champion. The only guy to like really give Vern a test. Rough as nails, supposedly would fight anything, like fight absolutely anything. And the guy was like 5. He was even shorter than the Sheik.
Yeah.
Who was?
You know what kills me? There's a good book. Didn't you read the book on him?
Yes, I have that.
Yeah, I've never read the book, but Pretty sure Bertrand Hubert wrote it, right, with Pat Laprade?
Yep.
And we'll get into those guys at the end of the show again, because Pat Laprade is the guy who helped us with the date for this show.
Yep.
So he's like September 72. So we're like,
Awesome.
sweet. Next
And
match, World Tag Team
sometimes
Championship.
we need all the help we can get.
Oh, hey, you know what? It helps when everybody helps each other, right?
Yes.
World Tag Team Champions. Yvonne Robert and Edward Carpentier versus the champions Dale Roberts and Jerry Brown.
So it's Yvonne Robert Jr., who was one of the part owners of Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And Carpentier. And there's nothing with those two guys. They were great. They were really good. Yvonne Robert wasn't a great junior, wasn't a great wrestler, but he had a name. And it wasn't much longer after this he got out of the business. He'd been wrestling probably like for 10 years, maybe at this time.
Oh, okay.
He worked as Bob something in the States. Maybe he worked Mid-Atlantic and stuff like that before he came back to Montreal to be partners with them. Carpentier, another just a star, 100% bona fide star. And the champions, Buddy Roberts and Jerry Brown, what a fantastic gimmick. They were the original Hollywood Blondes. Lying, cheating, sniveling, sucky, backing up, hands behind the back team, and then kick you in the nuts, right? They were great. And their manager was Sir Oliver Humperdinck.
Oh, there you go.
He started there with them after being like the ring jacket guy for the AWA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they were great. And they were one of the teams, Hollywood Blondes, they switched back and forth between All-Star and Grand Prix also. I love them. They were one of my favorite teams when I was growing up because they were so, I hated their guts so much, right?
Yeah.
They were so good at being dickheads.
No, that's their job.
Yeah, 100%.
At the end of the day, right?
Yep.
That's sick, though. So before we get into the main event, where are you? Which match where do you see the most?
Oh, I just wanted to show there's our good friend Don Leo.
Oh, there you go.
From Maggie's a Bit Ratty.
It's
July
old.
74. What match would I want to see other than the main event?
Yeah. So far that we did the rundown. I'm probably switching my answer now to the Mad Dog match, but I don't know. Just because I would love to see Mad Dog, but
I'd like to see Mad Dog Vachon kick the shit out of Rico Garcia because he was just a small, skinny guy. But I can't grasp that match. I can't grasp why they would have been booked. So I'm skipping that one. I'm doing
I guess.
I'm doing the tag team championship belt match between the Hollywood Blondes and Carpentier and Robert Jr.
Yeah, because nothing beats the next match. Jean Ferret versus Don Leo Johnathan, a huge rival that went everywhere.
Hang on.
Uh-oh, he's got something.
No, I lost myself there.
I can still hear you.
Okay, yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just blanked out for a second.
That's all good.
So yeah, we're gonna show some. We got like so many pictures to show after, but I found this the other day, and I'm just gonna quickly show this. This is exactly what you would have seen if you had been in attendance that day. I'm coming right up. Just gotta read.
Boom, boom, boom.
Now, page 12, Jesse.
Yeah, look at that.
Andre and Johnathan, Giants at War.
Look at that. That's actually fucking pretty sick, dude. Yo, read from it. What's it say? Not the headline or anything.
For weeks, Montreal wrestling fans have awaited impatiently for the War of the Giants between Don Leo Johnathan and Andre the Giant. When the match finally took place, it was even greater than the most optimistic fan expected. In the opening seconds, Johnathan and Andre locked in a test of strength for what seemed like hours. The two men strained against each other's muscles bulging with power. The first psychological advantage went to Andre when he slowly but surely twisted Don Leo Johnathan to his knees. Page 60.
I mean, That's
More
pretty
pictures.
sick though. Like it's that popular. It's in the magazines, bro.
Yeah. So this is the match where they had a double count out and all the wrestlers came out to separate them.
Yeah. That would have been sick to see.
It was so big, Jesse. It was just so big. It was big in the magazines. It was big on TV in Toronto, only on TV because they didn't come here. But everyone, I was 13 years old. Everyone that I knew back then, because I had my friends were wrestling fans back then. Everyone was talking about Jonathan and Andre or Jean Ferret. It was incredible, just incredible. It was probably, I think it was the biggest match ever until maybe Flair started having those spectacular matches like with Harley Race or Rick Steamboat and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Even
yeah, you can go
even
back
though
and
that they had already fought. I mean but it was the same, the build up and everything for months, right?
yeah. It would. I mean, Jesus, man, you just see it. It's in the magazines out of Montreal, so you know it's big when
Yeah,
it's in the magazines, right?
yeah.
So wild. And like I
It,
said, I showed the picture. I have a bunch of stuff. He did. Andre did work for Dave at the end of the day.
yeah,
He did work the Sheik in, I do believe, the 75 or 77 or something like that
yeah.
in Toronto. And that was the match that ended the fucking territory, they say.
That ended the streak. Yep, because no one could believe that the Sheik would do a 3 minute match and beat Andre, which is, looking back in hindsight, yes, it's the stupidest shit ever. They should have just had the guy win the belt and not defend it. Like just beat the Sheik and then 2 weeks later the Sheik shows up with the belt. He won it back in Alabama. You know, like whatever. They should have had Andre beat the Sheik.
Yeah, you're hilarious. Before we start wrapping things up, I want to show this book here. This is the Quebec history book by Bertrand Hubert and Pat Laprade.
Yep.
I have not got a chance to read it yet. You have, though. I'm pretty sure,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
You want to touch on that book real quick, or
Fantastic book, fantastic research by the boys. They go into in depth with the Montreal Athletic Commission championship belt, which I don't have a picture of with me right now, but it's a famous belt because it's got the small little circular kind of emblem at the middle,
yeah?
but it's got a red, white, and blue material on it.
Oh, okay,
Up
okay.
together with the chain, and whenever you see that belt, you know it right away. And it's the Montreal Athletic Commission World Championship belt. They did a great job on that, as they have done with everything they touch.
Yeah,
Obviously,
the
everything they touch.
Andre book was fantastic.
Yeah.
If you want to follow us on social media, oh wait, before we get there,
Yes.
Canadians on the card.
Oh gosh. Maybe we should just say non-Canadians.
Yeah, right.
Quickly, Len Shelley, Canadian. Pat Lawrence, Canadian. Reggie Parks, Frank Valois, Bravo, Weitz, the Destroyer, I think, who was one of the De La Serre brothers. Canadian. Leduc, Leboeuf, Poisson, Billy Two Rivers, Mad Dog Vachon, Yvon Robert, Carpentier is a landed Canadian. Dale Roberts, who was turned out to be Buddy Roberts, he was Canadian from Vancouver. And we honorary Andre was an honorary Canadian.
Yeah, he's adopted Canadian.
Yeah. Guys who worked for Dave,
Yes.
Reggie Parks, Frank Valois, Dino Bravo, Jackie Weitz. I'm pretty sure LeBoeuf worked. Mulligan, Von Raschke, Mad Dog, Yvon Robert, Carpentier, both the Hollywood Blondes worked in Toronto for Dave on the Dave versus Frank show from 1971.
Oh wow, September. Yeah.
Yep. And Jean Ferret and Leo Johnathan never worked for Dave.
No, he was too big of a star, I think.
Way too big of a star, yeah.
Way too big. Way too big. Perfect.
I just wanted to say, Jesse, that as of today, when we're taping this, we have just about 3,000 members on our three groups. National Wrestling Clippings Alliance, Ontario Wrestling Page of the Past, and the Wildman tribute page, we have just about 7,450 views on our YouTube channel, NWCA YouTube.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. And
Yes.
we're ready to go with the 2023 Wrestling History Tour. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah. You're a big numbers guy, so you're always about the numbers, which is fine by me. I don't really care. But yeah, check us out on Facebook. We post daily. I mean, I'm still not done posting for February. In the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance group alone, I have 47 posts coming.
Schedule?
No, almost. I almost done. Yeah, because you can go in a month in advance, so I gotta wait next week, and then I'll be able to finish it off. And I got about another 25 coming for the Ontario group. We're going on TikTok. Some of our TikToks now are getting 1,000 views average a day. We're posting all the time. We're growing, which is great. Johnny did a great job on our new intro video.
Yes. Everyone loved it. Everyone said it
Everybody.
was
I
nice.
haven't heard one single bad thing about it. The new layout looks sick.
My dog even liked it.
Your dog looks you're hilarious. Your dog. Yeah. So again, thanks for sticking with us for over a year. This is Montreal. Next week, we're staying in the 70s, and we're staying in Canada. We're just going a little further east, and we're going to Nova Scotia, baby.
Yep.
First time ever doing Nova Scotia out east, so it's going to be cool to talk about. I'm pretty sure on the card is Big John Quinn.
Yep. So we got, I like Halifax. I've been there a couple times. Pretty interesting town.
Been there once.
Awesome lobsters.
I hate lobster. We're going to debate about this all next time. Next time we're going to debate about this, just like we did debate about Hogan and all that stuff too. But yeah, Nova Scotia, and then we're leaving the 70s and we're going to the 80s, and we're going to go to Calgary Stampede, and then we're going to go to Winnipeg. That's the next little lineup, which is going to be cool because we're going to be talking about the AWA for the first time ever.
Yep.
And Calgary Stampede. So we're continuing to bring new content, but we have to remember that not every subject is going to be for everybody. So how do you get your subject to us? Like today, our friend Adam requested Montreal. Get in touch with us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Get in touch with us on Twitter at official NWCA1. Follow us on TikTok. Look us up on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, comment, all the fun stuff. Until then, Wes, got anything to say before we close her out, or what?
This has been my favorite card to talk about so far.
Wow, really?
Because I obviously I didn't see it live, but I watched it week after week after week unfold, and right before my eyes. So it was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it, and the Hollywood Blondes are one of my favorite tag teams back then.
Hollywood.
Excellent. And we're proud Canadians, and there's a lot of Canadians on these guys.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna stick with the Canadian content next week, and we got a lot of Canadian stuff coming up. And then once we get to the Ontario side, we're literally doing 3 or 4 cities in Ontario that aren't Toronto, which is going to be great too.
That's going to be so much fun too.
Exactly. But the fun will continue next time. I'm Jess.
I'm Wes.
And we are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance, and you just watched the NWCA podcast. And we will see you next time when we talk Calgary Stampede.
Ciao for now.
Peace.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance. It's the NWCA Podcast.
I love doing this, and I love you in a, cool wrestling history kind of way.
Hey, easy, man.